Good morning, everyone. We're going to call to order the criminal justice meeting, June 8th. Roll call.
Commissioner Brown, Carter, Harris,
Present.
Herr, present. Rodriguez, here. Vice Chairman Little,
Present.
Chairman Vieira. We have a quorum.
Do we see the Spiritual Assembly Baha? Is that? No, they'll be there. Okay, pledge allegiance. Mr. Harris, please, everyone stand.
Would you put your hands over your heart and repeat with me, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If any citizens today would like to address the Criminal Justice Commission on agendized items, they may do so by filling out a speaker card. They're limited to 3 minutes per card. Fill the cards out in the back and turn them to the front desk there. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of May 11th?
Yes.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Pass 4-0. Let's get right into the reports. Sheriff's Department, Kip.
Morning, Commission.
Morning, Kip.
Here to present the May of 2016 CompStat and station crime statistics. Go ahead, Josh. For May of 2016, violent crimes at 106. Property crimes 341. total Part 1 crimes, together 447. Violent crime arrests, 73. Property crime arrests, 55. And total arrests, 128. Unique earns issued for the month of May, 1798. The Lancaster City total Part 1 crime counts by month, year-to-year comparison. The Part 1 crimes in May of 2015 were at 366. May of 2016, current year, 427. Part 1 crime count by location has been broken up a little differently now, by just divided to give you a little better description of where these are at, so they're not so targeted towards our specific reporting districts. For Northwest Lancaster, 138. Northeast Lancaster, 96. Southwest Lancaster, 114. And Southeast Lancaster, 79. The maps this month, I will get those to you. Our crime analysts had an issue with the software in the computer, so we were unable to get those. But I will be able to provide Ms. Averett, and we'll get those to you. Residential burglaries for the month of May in the reporting district 1192 is 10. Out on the west side of Lancaster, 1127 is 9, and 1135 is 8. There's your map for your residential burglaries. Go ahead, Josh. Robberies for May of 2016 is for 1122.5, 21.4, 32.4, and 33.4. And those are all broken down to the directional there as far as what side of the city they're on that prior page that you have in your folder. As it was broken down, the RDs are below. Your City of Lancaster robberies for the month of May. Go ahead, John. Monthly trends. Your homicides, the average is 1. And we are below average there for May of 2016. The average for May of last year, or from June of 2015 to May of 2016, is 7 rapes over a period. We're about 8. Just above 8, we're at 9. You move forward, Josh. The average robberies, 29 over a period of a year. We're just at 35 for May of 2016. Aggravated assaults, the average is 52. And we are at about 61. Burglaries over a period of a year from June of 2015 to May of 2016, 111, and we are below average at just over 100. Larceny thefts, we're just a tad bit over average at 163. Grand theft vehicles over a period of a year from June of 2015 to May of 2016 is 49, and we are currently below that average. Average arsons over a period of a year is 6, and we are right between, probably around 5 there for May. like I said, with that map, and I can provide you that map. Actually, I'll have those for you if you'd like at the next commission meeting when they're up and running. And for our City of Lancaster crime statistics for the Burglary Suppression team, for the month of May, we have 20 felony arrests, 4 felony warrant arrests, 4 misdemeanor warrant arrests. They had 6 vehicles recovered, 5 Ramey warrants. They did 7 parole probation searches. The amount total in recovered stolen property was $45,962 with 1 firearm recovered, and they had 11 solved burglaries. For narcotics, patrol had 68 felony arrests with 7 for the narcotics crew, 2 being juveniles on patrol. Misdemeanor arrests for patrol, 39 with 2 juveniles, 1 for the narco team. For patrol, marijuana grams recovered 1,170, plants total 16, 250 grams of methamphetamine, 32 grams of cocaine. The crew had 7 felony arrests, 1 misdemeanor arrest for adults, and they recovered 453 grams of methamphetamine. 6 search warrants were served with 1 firearm recovered. And the LANCAP team for the month of May had 37 felony arrests, 13 misdemeanor arrests. They recovered 7 firearms, and the estimated value of illegal narcotics in money was $151,136. That concludes my presentation. Anyone have any questions?
Any questions from the commission?
Okay, thank you very much.
Kip, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate it. California Highway Patrol. How are you, sir?
I am well, thank
Good.
you, and good morning to everybody. Just a brief update on our Seatbelt Compliance enforcement, which is a national campaign now that we do statewide. But for this specific area, for the Antelope Valley area, we had some good enforcement over the period of May. Had a total of 182 seatbelt violations. I'll break them down for you. 126 were for drivers, 29 were for passengers, 18 were for underage children, 6 were for infants, 3 were inoperative, and we gave 34 verbals. So, pretty successful campaign. Our area has experienced, we're still in alignment with what we did last year in terms of our fatalities. We're at 12 this year. Unfortunately, 2 of them they were not restrained, so we're working on that. I wish we can pinpoint something specific in terms of trying to find out exactly how we can mitigate that, but because of the expansive jurisdictional area, it's kind of difficult to pinpoint one particular area, but we have some very wide open terrains and can't really pinpoint it, but continue with our enforcement efforts and educational efforts. Valley.
On the seatbelt infractions, if I'm a passenger and the driver's not wearing the seatbelt, do you ticket the passenger too?
If the passenger is over 18, correct.
Yeah. So even though he's wearing a seatbelt?
No, if he's not wearing a seatbelt, then he would get the ticket, correct.
So if he's wearing a seatbelt and he gets in the car and the driver's driving and not wearing a seatbelt,
then the passenger would get the citation.
Yeah,
The passenger's
too bad that you couldn't enforce something that would make it look to the point as far as saying that
make it mandatory.
Put that seatbelt on.
The only instance would be you hold the parent accountable
Yeah.
if it's an underage.
Yeah.
But no.
Interesting. Thank you, sir. Appreciate everything you do. Thank you. Any questions?
No, thank you. I do.
Vice Mayor.
Can you explain, don't you have a function at the Jethawks Stadium for CHP night?
Yeah, that's correct. We do have CHP night scheduled for the 24th of this month, and we'll have our representation out there. I think we're going to have also some educational booths set up for the public as well, including, which we always have, the child restraint program in our office, so that's always a good referral.
What time is it? What time?
It's the time of the game. I think it's in the evening. I don't know the specific time. Right?
I think
it's 7:10. 7:10.
And that's on the 24th.
That's correct.
Okay, so mark your calendars on that. It'd be a good event to go, see a baseball game. Anything else? Mr. Franklin, District Attorney's Office. How are you, sir?
Okay, good morning. Unfortunately, as of this morning, the statistics that I normally would read have not been published yet, so I'll have to include those at our next Criminal Justice Commission meeting. I would, however, which I'll probably be mentioning throughout the duration until the November election, indicate to the Commission that 2 days ago the California State Supreme Court ruled on the public safety initiative that Governor Brown is pushing, which would basically give early parole to 30 to 40,000 violent inmates. In a 6-to-1 vote, the state Supreme Court indicated that the amendments that he added to the initial juvenile law was in fact constitutional, so it will be on the November ballot. I do have for the members, I pulled an article from the author's name's Dan Walters. It's just a very quick 2-page article that if it's from the Sacramento Bee, why we're not getting this kind of publicity here in Southern California, I'm not sure. The California District Attorneys Association is all over this, but I did Xerox this for the members. But just to kind of highlight what he indicated on here was that essentially Brown is using the term nonviolent in order to push his agenda, that if a crime's not indicated as a violent felony, therefore everybody would be subject to early parole. So if you're not in the violent category, of which there's only 23, which are your most egregious, obviously the murder, torture, rape, you would be eligible for early parole. And that would indicate, as the article indicates, assault with a deadly weapon, solicitation of murder, intimidating a witness, harassing a crime victim, residential burglary with person present. Those are all nonviolent offenses according to the state legislative code. And then it goes on to indicate that Dan Newman, a spokesman for Governor Brown, confirmed that the California District Attorneys Association interpretation of this is in fact correct. So I do have these. I'll continue to report, but I do think that this is a vital measure for the community here that, if implemented, will, in my opinion, drastically increase crime and certainly jeopardize the safety of the community here.
Mr. Franklin, has there been, and I'm sure there's been figures brought up, how many roughly inmates could fall under that category in the state of California? Is there a number that's been thrown out there? I know you.
Correct. It's like 30 to 40,000.
Wow. So that's 30 or 40,000 could be in the state of California. Could be in this particular program.
Right. And geographically here in L.A. County, as Mr. Cooley had indicated to me before when I took over this position, we are a third of the county geographically here in the Antelope Valley. So we will get more than our fair share of these early.
Well, I appreciate.
The vast majority are not going to.
Yeah, I guess that's something that we all have to keep an eye on and
And the word really needs to get out there that when this hits the ballot, that it's a no vote.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin. Appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Jocelyn.
Good morning. I don't really have anything to report. I just wanted to expand on what Mr. Franklin was just talking about. So the Supreme Court has cleared the way for, if it qualifies for the ballot, that it can go forward. The counties are in the process now of qualifying the signatures. The petition went around, and I think they got almost twice as many as is required to qualify for the ballot. Now they have to do a full count, and if they reach 95% of the total amount of signatures needed, it will automatically make it to the November ballot. And what I'm seeing in terms of the numbers so far, there's still only a few counties that have reported. I think it's very clear that it will, in fact, make the ballot in November. That's all I have today. Thanks.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Appreciate
Jocelyn,
it.
is this a constitutional amendment?
Yes, it is.
It requires a 60% vote.
Gosh, I don't remember offhand. I'm going to have to look into that. I'll be happy to send you all an email to let you know. Don't have that figure off the top of my head.
Commissioners, anything else? Well, obviously, Mr. Cottle is sitting in for Mr. Dorico.
I'm sitting in his chair, but there will be no report.
Okay. Thank you. Senator Runner's office, Mr. Rick Cook.
Good morning, commissioners, Vice Chairman Little, staff, and Vice Mayor Christ. I gave you a slight report. This is a update of Senator Runner's bills from the last time. Not much has changed, except that I wanted to highlight a few. SB 1367, which Mr. Dorico and Jocelyn have brought to the I call it the City of Lancaster bill, which is talking about salt and bath salts and harmful things to minors, is going forward. There's been some revisions to the verbiage in the law. I gave Jocelyn a copy of it. She's going to go through it. Looks pretty good. Just little simple changes, calling substances, different things. Looks like it's still continuing to go through. I want to bring up on the first page, there's SP 1077. This is what we're dealing with. And the district attorney's office even just brought it up. This was a good bill. This was a bill that was brought up over the Catherine Steinle incident that happened when somebody was transferred to another area, was actually transferred. He had a felony, was being brought up here to San Francisco for a misdemeanor, was then released, went on a bridge with a gun and killed somebody. Well, this bill died. It died because simply, what they said, did not have enough votes to advance. Several members felt that bill unfairly targeted undocumented residents as a source of a crime. Sharon, Senator Runner, argued that the bill was narrowly focused upon previously convicted felons awaiting deportation and gained the support of Senator Galgiani, but Senate leaders were not persuaded. So this bill essentially died. We don't have enough support in the state, in the capital, to move big laws through that fight crime. And that's why I'm hoping that you'll encourage 1367. Don't let this get out of your focus. Keep focusing on getting this bill through. Write letters. Contact the Senate office. Contact the Assembly office. Make noise. That's how bills get through. Good news, though. A couple of bills are going forward. This was kind of nice for us to see, but Senate Bill 1075, which is its child molestation report, it's moving forward. There's a need to get information. Child molestation is a big thing in the state of California. When you look at 3,777 California state prisoners have been sentenced for commission of rape, but over 3 times that inmates have been committed for molestation of a child. But these numbers are not reported. It's omitting from all crime stats reports. We need to get those numbers out there. We need to know what those numbers are. Same thing that officers present here, you need to know what child molestation numbers are. It's a big problem in the state of California. That one's moving forward. Moving forward a little strangely, though, so I'll share something. One of Sharon's bills on the Senate appropriations file, and I don't know if you know what Senate appropriations is. It's where money is allocated. Generally, if it goes into appropriations, bills die. They just die. You know, we'll set it over in the corner until there's enough money to do it. But this one got through. And they were a little sad at first. There's only one that got through so far. But then they realized that if their count is accurate, and it may be off by a few, only 16 Republican bills passed off the suspense file. That is 16 out of roughly 175 Democrat bills that sailed through. Why we need to have a strong Republican presence in the state of California. We need to get some of these things through. Another good bill that came through, which we're quite happy with, it's going on forward, is a veteran's honorary license plates. So if a veteran has a license plate, we are trying to get a bill through that he could use the HOV lanes, go on through. I mean, these are our vets that have served us. We need to honor them as they move forward. Well, feds wouldn't allow us to use that bill for simply because it's federally funded, which is high occupancy lanes. I like to call them high-speed lanes because I get a little mad when somebody's in front of me doing 55 when I'm on there. But so they changed that to California toll roads, that a veteran with a special license plate won't have to pay and can use the toll roads in the state of California. That one's moving forward, so we're quite happy with that. And with that, then I'll bring up, I gave you a flyer. On June 25th, we're going to have a seminar on raising valley fever awareness. We have 4 great speakers. Dr. Lauer, who was hired by National Aeronautics and Space Administration to do a study out here in the Antelope Valley about finding spores using satellite and technology that existed to see where we did have sites that might be active in the Antelope Valley. Dr. Ramon Guevara from Los Angeles County, Emily Beeler, she's a doctor of animal disease. She actually works on gorillas down in the LA Zoo. That, surprisingly enough, gorillas get valley fever. And then Kurt Emery, he's from Kern County. Kern County has an outbreak of valley fever right now. We're hoping that doesn't come into the Antelope Valley, but all signs show that in an El Nino year, you get blooms. Blooms could create valley fever. And I know what Dr. Brown's going to ask me, so I'll already bring it up. About a month after this, we're also going to be doing CME projects for doctors to attend so they can get CME credits to learn more about valley fever and what can be done. There's also a bill in the Senate, SB 115, trying to appropriate $1 million for vaccine research for valley fever. So I encourage you to come, encourage your staff to come, and make it a point to learn more about valley fever. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it. Any questions? Russ Williams. I'd love to have you come to the podium. I would love to. I want to see your smiling face.
All right, I'll make this a little concise here. A number of bills going through legislation right now through the Assembly, some in Lackey's office, but I'll focus on those dealing with the law enforcement. One that just got signed by the governor yesterday is AB 1927, and what AB 1927 will do, and you may find interest in this, it's just going to make electronic signing of citations quicker and easier. Making it safer for officers who have pulled over vehicles to kind of expedite the situation. As you know, an officer pulling over a vehicle has got to contain the situation, contain the people inside, take care of everything going on, and also do the paperwork at the same time. So this bill will actually make that, moves us up into the 21st century to where it's just a simple slide and able to get the information out right then and there for the infraction. So that just was signed by the governor yesterday. And the other part I want to point out real quickly is last week, Senator Lackey received the Legislator of the Year Award from the California Police Chiefs Association. and for his thoughtful and solid record of law enforcement support and willingness to support the positions of the California Police Chiefs Association, even in the face of strong countervailing interests. So I wanted to give congratulations on that, receiving the Legislator of the Year award. And that's it.
Any questions? Thanks, Russ.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Russ.
This portion of the agenda allows an individual to address criminal justice not on the agenda to fill out a speaker card. They have 3 minutes to fill out a speaker card. I have no speaker cards. Commissioner comments? Anything?
No.
No? I'd like to recognize again Mr. Vice Mayor Marvin Christ, Councilman Molly for being here, thank you. And again, Mr. Rob Harris, thank you, sir, for being here. Archie, anything? Anything for Leaps? Nothing?
Had a good operation this morning to support the local station.
Good, good. All right, well, thank you for everyone being here. We'll adjourn the meeting until Wednesday, July 13th, 2016 at 10 a.m.